It's actually at the stage where it is problematic if you are involved anything in the WNBA to not hate Caitlin Clark. They were like, in the NBA, if you were...
The Indiana Fever were practicing, joking, and feeling like sisters 1 minute, and then everything fell apart. Suddenly, a bombshell landed. Suspended is Caitlin Clark. 2 more names fell to the ground like broken glass before the WNBA could even breathe. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull left the league, leaving the Fever behind. Together, the 3 of them finished. However, the reason for this is that nobody anticipated it. Before we go into this chaotic maelstrom, hit the like button, subscribe, and get ready for what could be the most intense storyline ever. It began in Indianapolis on a calm morning. Just one email. Caitlin Clark has a 1-game suspension. No warning, no explanation, and no details. Coaches froze. The players gazed. Supporters fell silent. And Sophie Cunningham. She didn't recoil. After slamming her locker, she muttered, "If she's gone, I'm gone." When Lexi heard that, she immediately repeated it.
Happens when you're next to Caitlin Clark. You get access to things that you normally wouldn't get access to. And I think that's obvious for everybody to see. When you're next to Caitlin Clark, it's gonna, instead of people looking at it like she's dimming everybody else, like she's turning up the lights on everybody else and making everybody else shine brighter. Sophie Cunningham is a prime example. Well, nobody really, like, people say, oh, she's a beautiful blonde, blah, blah, blah. She looked the same way last year. Wasn't nobody really checking for her. You get her next to Caitlin Clark. Now she's on Good Morning America. Now she got Arby's deals. Now she's
I'm also not staying. Nobody was aware of how strong their relationship had become. These 3 had been bonded since training camp, but no one noticed. However, the world learned about it today. It was harmless at first. During warm-ups, Caitlin jokes around. For team flights, Lexi brings food. During difficult practices, Sophie stood up for Caitlin. Golf excursions. Pictures that become viral. Late-night discussions about noise, celebrity, and pressure. Nobody anticipated this triumvirate, yet it ended up being impenetrable. They weren't teammates. They weren't colleagues. They were related. Thus, Caitlin's suspension didn't feel like a punishment. It was like an assault. Alarms were going off within the Fever offices. The franchise will fail if Caitlin departs. Leadership vanishes if Sophie departs. The cohesiveness of the squad rapidly dies if Lexi departs. This triumvirate was more than just well-liked. They constituted the culture. The phones kept ringing. Meetings for emergencies broke out. Coaches pleaded for responses.
Your game and come into this game and for her to do the same on your side.
Yeah, well, I remember last year when we were here, I was talking to Nelly about her shoes because obviously, like, in the basketball world, like, you don't, like, you wear the team uniform, like it's your shoes that are the cool thing. So I was like asking her about her shoes and she was like, oh yeah, like these are kind of basic. And then it's been cool to kind of watch over the course of the last year. She got to put in a lot of time to create her own PE and very unique to her and what she's passionate about in herself. And obviously somebody that's very, very deserving. And it's been a top of the sport for a long time now. So I've played a few rounds with her even outside of here for some other stuff. And it's really fun to get to watch her do her thing up close. Like, talk about making it look easy. Like, it just is so easy for her. But at the same time, like, she's just a good person. Like, she's chill. She has fun with you out on the course. But yeah, her shoes are pretty cool. I'll make sure they get home safely and I'm going to be rocking them.
However, the 3 had already decided. Fans will always relive this event. Sophie packed her things in silence. Caitlin's sweatshirt is being folded by Lexi. Caitlin was scarcely able to contain her tears as she stared at her sneakers. Just heartache, no drama, no shouting. We are all suspended if they suspend you, Sophie. We won't let you leave by yourself, Lexi. You guys don't need to do this, Caitlin. Sophie gave a headshake. We've already made a decision. Lexi smiled feebly. Together, we depart. There was silence, then mayhem. The news erupted. On live TV, commentators were in a panic. Social media was inundated with fans. What's going on? The WNBA is over. This cannot be true. The league was in a panic. Damage control, hurried remarks, and agency calls. Nothing was effective. The narrative was overly expansive. Walking out for each other are 3 players. Unprecedented. And an enigmatic door opened behind the scenes. Project B is a potent new league that offers deals worth millions of dollars. Just basketball, no politics, no salary limitations, no suspensions due to scandal, and no media pressure. Rumors circulate. One offer will be made for the project. Together, the 3 of you will go. Sophie arched an eyebrow. Lexi froze. Caitlin muttered. Collectively. Indeed. Collectively. It was dangerously seductive for a triumvirate that would not part from one another. Supporters were incensed. Outside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, protests started. Return them. Now fix this. Our three are what we want. The Fever Group was aware that this was not your typical situation. This was a franchise-wide emotional collapse.
Remember, you just lose these players straight up. You don't get anything back for the players. They're gone. We didn't get anything for Temi, did we? No, exactly. Let's take a look at the list that I've concocted. Number 1, you gotta court Caitlin Clark. The General. Last year, she averaged 16.5 points per game over a 13-game period, 8.8 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game, 1.6 steals per game. She is the franchise. She is the captain. She is the leader. She is the soul. She is the sun of this solar system. And everything needs to be built around her, predicated around her. The pieces need to be put in place this year, unlike last year, to get the most out of Caitlin Clark's abilities. That means when free agency hits, you don't sign 36, 37, 35, 34. You don't sign...
The three sat side by side in a quiet back room, their hands clasped, their emotions burdened, and their eyes red. I don't want to go, Caitlin. Lexi, but if they treat us like this, we can't stay. Sophie inhaled deeply. After that, we all stand together. 3 nods, 1 voice, 1 choice, and quiet. They make their way through the tunnel. Caitlin is in the center, Sophie is on the left, and Lexi is on the right. Fans let forth screams. Reporters flocked to the scene. Like lightning, cameras flashed. However, the three didn't pause, didn't turn around, and didn't falter. Together, they made their way toward an uncertain future. The WNBA was left in complete confusion after 3 stars, 1 bond, and 1 leave.
My coach, and I literally had no words, but after soaking in, I really appreciated the opportunity that Caitlin and Annika have really given me in Cambridge. But even now, like, I still need to relish this, and I think I need to soak it in. So if you can ask me 3 days later, maybe I'll tell you.
Tom?
Hey, Caitlin, Tom D'Angelo from the Palm Beach Post. You appeared as though on your tee shot at 10 was kind of a relief after a couple of...
I'm also not staying. Nobody was aware of how strong their relationship had become. These 3 had been bonded since training camp, but no one noticed. However, the world learned about it today. It was harmless at first. During warm-ups, Caitlin jokes around. For team flights, Lexi brings food. During difficult practices, Sophie stood up for Caitlin. Golf excursions. Pictures that become viral. Late-night discussions about noise, celebrity, and pressure. Nobody anticipated this triumvirate, yet it ended up being impenetrable. They weren't teammates. They weren't colleagues. They were related. Thus, Caitlin's suspension didn't feel like a punishment. It was like an assault. Alarms were going off within the Fever offices. The franchise will fail if Caitlin departs. Leadership vanishes if Sophie departs. The cohesiveness of the squad rapidly dies if Lexi departs. This triumvirate was more than just well-liked. They constituted the culture. The phones kept ringing. Meetings for emergencies broke out. Coaches pleaded for responses.